I do miss flying a little. I don't fly now myself, but it's such an amazing feeling. There's nothing else like it. Being up above the clouds on a rainy day, you know, watching the sunrise or watching the sunset, just the freedom of being like a bird. It's fabulous. I'm Robyn, and I was a test pilot in the Air Force. So when I first went to join the Air Force, I intended to join as a pilot. So I went into recruiting and I said I'd like to be a pilot, and they said, no, we don't have women pilots, but you can be an engineer. So I thought, well, that's a good start, and they sort of implied that if I did engineering, I'd be able to fly later, so that seemed a pretty reasonable thing to do. When they first opened flying to women, they decided that they wanted 2 women who were already in the Air Force and 2 women who were recruited from outside. So I was one of the first 4 women to go through pilot training in the Air Force and one of the first 2 to graduate.
I mean, it's good for women that we've managed to achieve this, but it's also an achievement for all these guys standing here who've just got their wings as well. I mean, really, they're important as what we are because they've achieved as much as we have.
Forget about the glamour girl image. There's no designer label on this gear, no mirrors or makeup. This is life and death stuff. And once you strap on that helmet, you're just one of the boys.
I was very highly motivated and very enthusiastic about flying, and I was fortunate to dux the course, which meant I got my choice of where I went. That turned out to be a choice within what was available to women, so I could choose either HS748 or the Mistair. So I started with 4 years in transport with a navigation trainer. To start with, we were this anomaly. And not just in the Air Force either. I remember the first time that I flew, I was on the radio because the co-pilot's always on the radio. I made my first radio call, and the thing I got back was the air traffic control going, oh, another empty kitchen. That's what I got back. So it was Australia-wide, it wasn't just Air Force. But it took a long time. And you went from being sort of this strange anomaly that nobody really trusted to someone who was, sort of generally accepted as part of the team, to someone who was actually appreciated as part of the team, and you would actually be held up as a mascot. Like, we've got one of these, look, we're diverse, you know, and it was fine from that point. But I would say from when I started pilot training until I was fully accepted was a good 2 or 3 years. And then they opened flying instructing to women, and I was on the first woman to go through as a flying instructor. And then I was posted to Pearce in Perth, where I instructed on the PC-9 aircraft. And while I was on the PC-9, they were looking for someone to do test pilot's course, and I put my hand up for that. And I think having an engineering background as well really helped me to be selected for that. And then after test flying, I flew as a test pilot in South Australia for 2 years. And then I was selected to go over to Atlanta for the C-130J project. And I spent 5 years in Atlanta test flying the C-130J aircraft. There's a mathematical formula called Fisher's formula that shows that the greater diversity, the greater your rate of adaptability. And it's important in Air Force because we go to war or we go to conflict situations and things are unpredictable. The more diverse people you've got within your team, the better you're able to adapt and cope with changing situations. So in terms of conflict, it's actually advantageous for us to have women and other different type of diverse populations within the team. I'm really excited to see the Air Force go through its 100-year anniversary. I mean, for me, I've really seen the Air Force change and grow over the last 20 or 30 years to the magnificent organisation it is today. I'm really proud to be a part of it.